Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. As always, my name is Corey, this is Nick, this is John, and today is our list of games we're most excited to try in 2023. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're brand new games, but just games we haven't played before that we're most likely going to play in the year 2023.
We're going to make a very strong attempt to play these games. We've talked about some of these games forever. And we're gonna get them played. That's New Year's resolution.
Yes, so let's get started. All right, yes, like we said, these are the games we are most excited to try here coming up, starting in the next couple of weeks as 2023 commences on us, and hopefully play sometime within the next 12 months. So starting with John, what is your first game you're most excited to play?
So the first game is a game Nick's talked about a lot, Corey's brothers talked about a lot. I've never played it because mainly it's a beast of a game and you really have to have the right group to play it. And that's Twilight Imperium. Like, the theme to me just seems wonderful. You're playing as a alien race. You're trying to do, it's a 4X strategy game. So you're trying to, I don't remember what all the X's are, but discover, explore.
Yeah, because discover starts with an X. Yes.
Exterminate,
exploit, expand.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, so 4X strategy game, space related, right on my alley, obviously. Very heavy on diplomacy, strategy, all things I really love if you can get the right group to play it. So I am absolutely thrilled to try this game out, and hopefully we do dedicate a day to actually playing it here.
Yes.
In the new year.
Yes, dedicate an entire day.
I know, Nick, are you still doing a play session of this at Con of the North?
That's the plan.
Which I won't be there for that, but we'll find another day to play it.
Yeah.
Well, my first game, it is a brand new game. I am a sucker for racing games. This is a brand new racing game.
Let's pick this game.
This is called Heat Pedal to the Metal. And this has been getting a lot of buzz recently. It is a card-driven racing game where it has a lot of little crunchy points to the game. It's not just a very simple, streamlined game like a lot of the other racing games we've played. It has some deck building to it. It has some deck management to it. You're adding some cards that either hurt or help you as you're trying to, like the title suggests, add more heat to that engine to go ahead and fly around the corners. Not too quickly though, because that's how you get some negative cards. Just sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds a little finicky with some of the mechanisms. Like it definitely some added things to the game to make it a heavier or kind of medium weight, heavier strategy game. But it's been getting some great things said about it, so I'm excited to play this game.
I'm really glad you brought this one up because obviously, as a group and friends of our group, Downforce has been a big hit.
Yes,
and I love that game. And this seems like it is a more heavy version of Downforce with whatnot. So.
Yeah, and you're not bidding or like on the cards or anything. It's all just straight racing. But it's got like drafting in it and burning your tires out.
A more realistic for racing mechanics.
Yeah. This is the big title by Days of Wonder for this year, and I've been getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
So. On to you for your first pick.
So for my first pick, it's more of an obscure title called Hunters AD2114. And
Hunters 82,114, did you say? Is that 80 or BC?
2114 probably is a better way to say it.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's 80. It is 80. Anyway, so this is a game by a Polish publishing company that I kickstarted now actually about 2 years ago. And in fact, I think it was this last year where I received a upgrade or an errata pack because they did another Kickstarter for the game. And I've yet to play it, even the first edition, I guess, of the game. And I'm really excited to get it to the table in 2023 because John said he'd play it with me. So this is a campaign-style game. It's kind of set in a dystopian universe where very reminiscent of the opening scene of the Terminator, where you have all these mechs fighting, and kind of these mechs are smart and have intelligence, and humans are like trying to survive against these mechs, and that's kind of the universe you're in. But it has a similar playstyle to Gloomhaven, where you have like a town phase, and then you come across different scenarios that then you play on a tactical map, and then come back and.
You say it's kind of story driven, right?
Very story driven. A lot of the time you might come across a mission and it says you revisit this in a few days, and you have like a day tracker, and it's kind of so you keep track of your time, and there's a lot of moving parts to the game.
I'll say it sounds cool, and I did agree to play this regardless if I remember it or not, but it sounds like something I would do. The theme sounds great, and I am a sucker for story-driven games. I know sometimes it can be a lot for people to invest in and continue to bring that game out, but I do like continuing a story and upgrading a character and kind of playing through that. So looking forward to it.
Yep. Yeah, cool. So what's your next game?
My next game is Jaws of the Lion, which essentially is the starter edition of Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven's obviously been a very popular game for several years now. It's something I've always wanted to try, but again, it's another very heavy game, and you have to have the right group to play it. But luckily, with Jaws of the Lion that they released, you can play this on a little more smaller scale and an easier to learn scale, so you can play with people that maybe aren't so into the heavy RPG type game, which I don't think we've ever really played something like that. Imperial Assault's probably the closest, and that's pretty streamlined.
Yeah, and some legacy games.
Right. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to that. I know, Corey, you've already dabbled a little bit into that with your brother in church. But I've yet to try Gloomhaven to any extent. But I've always heard really, really good things. So
my next pick, I think we're going to play on January 1st, 2023 is my prediction. So it still counts for the list. It's still going to be in 2023. And this game is Clank Catacombs. I hope so. I think John might be getting it around Christmas time. We'll see. But anyway, I'm very excited for this. Clank is definitely a game that we pull out very often for this game group here. Not only the original game, but also Clank in Space, Clank Legacy. We've played most of the iterations of Clank now, and Clank Catacombs adds just another element of difference to the gameplay, where you are playing out tiles as you're exploring the map. So it's not just one set map. You don't have to. It doesn't really seem like you have to buy expansions for new map content or anything like that, because every game will be variable, every game will be different, and it'll just be another element of exploration. In the original Clank games, I really love trying to build out your deck to get those movement cards to really fly around the map, and that was a lot of fun. But I think adding that exploration element to it will just add another layer of excitement to it. So that is what I'm most excited about for Clank Catacombs.
So for my next game, I acquired again a couple years ago via Kickstarter, but have yet to actually table and play thoroughly, and that's Cloudspire by Chip Theory Games. In fact, we just played Too Many Bones the other day and I was tempted to put that on the list because I think we'll be hopefully playing that more in 2023. But we already did play it, so it's not wasn't applicable for the list since we already played in 2022. But Cloudspire, none of us have really played yet, so even though, like I said, I've had it for a couple years. So hope to get that to the table. It's a MOBA-style board game where I think, well, depending on the player count, typically it's 2, but it can, I think, play up to 4. You have your base, and then during each round you have a bunch of minions that you're purchasing that are just going straight for your enemy's base to try to deal damage to the enemy base. But meanwhile, you also have hero characters that you can move around how you want and deal damage to enemy towers that are, passively dealing damage to your minions. And of course, the opponent's also trying to do the exact same thing to you. And there's resource management, because every round you're getting these resources that you can use then to upgrade your towers, upgrade your defenses, or purchase new units. So a very good analog to the traditional MOBA style genre. So it has great table presence too. Neoprene mats for the board. It's just a really nice game, a really nice production. So
cool. Moving on to your last pick.
Well, Corey already stole my thunder, but the game I'm looking forward to most is Clank Catacombs. I'm gonna buy it after Christmas. There's no doubt in that. I've got Clank in Space. I love the deck building mechanic with the Clank games. I like just the simplicity of the games in general, where you're playing your hand out, making noise, which is detrimental to when the monster attacks, and you're just trying to explore the cavern or whatever, the space station or whatever these catacomb things are, to, in my opinion, try to get the best artifact you can and get out and survive. So yeah, super excited for this. I like the survival mechanisms of this. I'm curious to see how the exploration mechanic of catacombs works versus having, the known board setup of the previous games, and then just seeing how they treat the deck building aspect of this one, because it seems like they kind of tweak that every time they make a new version of the game too. So
yeah,
super excited for Clank, and like Corey said, we're going to be doing an event on New Year's Day this year, and this is definitely a game we're going to be playing.
All right, and my final pick on the list for today is a game that's almost a sequel to a game that we played a long, long time ago, which was Photosynthesis, and it's got a very similar theme. This game is called Evergreen and is just hitting store shelves, I think, right now. I haven't even really seen it on store shelves at all, but I know it's a brand new game that I'm looking forward to picking up and trying in this coming year. It is, from what I hear, it's the game that I know the least amount about, but it is similar to Photosynthesis, where you've got this mechanism where the sunlight rotates around the board, and depending on the shadows that the trees are casting, that will either hinder or help out different situations around the board. It is kind of an abstracted theme, but from what I hear, this is more of the gamery version of Photosynthesis. For me, I just thought Photosynthesis was a little bit too light, not enough strategy going on for my liking, and I think that this game fixes everything from what I hear in that respect. So looking forward to that. Like I said, I don't know much about it, but I know from the people that have played it, who I have heard review it already, have said great things about it. So very excited to try this one, and the nature theme doesn't hurt it either. You don't see a ton of games with the tree nature theme out there, and I think it's just a really cool, neat concept of a theme to bring into an abstracted board game. So that is Evergreen.
Yeah, sounds cool. I know, like you said, Photosynthesis was one of the first games we played together, and I remember it being a very fun entry-level game.
Yes.
Especially for the kind of theme it brings to the table. However, I'd be curious to see how this builds upon that and makes it more
and
gamery, like you said.
If Photosynthesis is to downforce, Evergreen would be to like heat pedal to the metal.
Right.
Kind of. Yep. It just I think ramps up that strategy to the next level. So definitely a cool one that I'm looking forward to trying. Nick.
So for me, on our YouTube channel from few months ago, at least maybe over a year ago now, I did a video on this game, and that's Lord of the Rings Battle of Five Armies. And by Ares Games, and I decided to acquire one of the few collector editions of Battle of Five Armies just because I thought the game always sounded cool, and there was a collector's edition of War of the Ring, which if I could go back in time, I probably would have even gotten that as well, because I just think they have great table presence because all the minis are painted and everything. But in terms of playing the game, I still have yet to do that, and I'm hoping to finally get that to the table in 2023, since I have this nice collector's edition of the game, and may as well play it, right? So I know John and or Corey would probably be happy to play it with me.
I like Lord of the Rings, and from what I know, I don't know much about the game, like what type of or anything it is, but I know it's highly rated, and I've heard many good things. So
yeah, and enlighten me a little bit. Is it 2-player only, this game? Also,
it is 2-player,
just like War of the Ring.
Just like War of the Ring.
But unlike War of the Ring, is Battle of Five Armies, is that more zoomed in on the battlefield or pulled out?
So it's more zoomed in just to the Battle of Five Armies from the Hobbit series. What's kind of cool is they recently added an expansion that came with the collector's edition, but you can buy it separately, that connects the Battle of Five Armies to the War of the Ring game. So basically, how the outcome, whoever wins the Battle of Five Armies, gives some sort of difference.
That's really cool.
Starting condition.
Okay, I like that.
So, and it uses this even though it's zoomed in, it uses a similar dice allocation mechanism that the War of the Ring does, where you're rolling a bunch of dice, and then this, based on the symbols you're rolling, that dictates the different types of actions you can do in the game. So,
if you guys have any games that you're looking forward to playing next year, leave them in the comment section below. We love to hear what suggestions you may have, or just talking amongst yourselves, we might see a game that sparks our interest, so we'll check it out more.
I'd love to check out some games other people are really getting
Definitely.
into.
Agreed. And with that, I wanted to mention one other thing here before leaving. We do have our big Talking Cardboard event coming January 1st, 2023, where we're getting a bunch of our friends together in one big room full of tables and mayhem and madness, and we're going to be streaming it live. Multiple tables going with multiple games going at the same time. I think we might only be live streaming from the one main table here, but at least we'll have a game going on at all times. And I don't think it'll be like a full 24-hour event, but it'll definitely be I would say a minimum of 12 hours. But we'll definitely be streaming all day, January 1st, 2023. So tune in live on the Talking Cardboard YouTube channel for that.
Yeah, after you wake up with your hangovers and you got nothing else to do, grab some hash browns and throw our
coffee.
channel on. And
Yep.
maybe find some board games that you might want to try out in the future.
Yeah, and you can comment to us live as we're playing also, and we can have a back and forth chat. We definitely love interaction with people as we're sitting here all day long with nothing better to do if we're not invited into the game ourselves. So anyway, until next time, you all enjoy the holidays. Maybe we'll see you January 1st, and have fun gaming.